Now I'm going to show you the exact prompt sequence to coordinate these two brains and design a scalable app without writing a single line of code. If you're using tools like Lovable, Bolt or Replit, it feels like magic. You type a sentence and in seconds you get a working app. These no-code tools are great for prototypes, but not that great for real products. They will only build you a trap because you are going to hit what we call the complexity wall. You start fast, but the moment you try to customize it, the AI breaks two things for every one thing it fixes. You end up with a product that you are terrified to change. Hi, I'm Anto, I'm a principal engineer and for the last 15 years I've been protecting big banks from bad things. Today I'm going to show you why no-code generators fail for scaling and give you the workflow I tell my clients to use to build apps that actually last. So imagine you're building a house. You start by building the walls, you paint, you hang the curtains, you bring in a beautiful Italian leather sofa, but you have completely missed pipes and wiring. At this point, you invite your friends over and you realize you forgot the heating system. You realize there is no plumbing for the toilet. Now you have a bit of a problem. To put the pipes in, you have to take the sledgehammer and destroy those beautiful painted walls. This is exactly what vibe coding does. You get the vibe of a finished product instantly, the buttons, the color, the layout, but the heating system, the data security, the user authentication, the scaling logic is not there. And when you try to add it later, you break everything. The AI tries to shove the pipes through the wallpaper and the whole mess collapses. This is why you hit the complexity wall. When you write code with these tools, you are not building, you are just decorating. So how do we escape this decorator trap? So first of all, we have to stop acting like an interior design and start acting like architects. Instead of vibe coding, we should do AI-assisted architecture. In this new way, you don't start by asking the AI for a beautiful dashboard. You start by asking for the foundations and the wiring. So this is a shift in our mindset. We have to pour the concrete foundation first, we install the plumbing and heating second, and only when the lights are working, we let the AI paint the walls. Only when you build in this order, you solve the complexity wall, because everything is done following a logic. Now you might be thinking, okay, Anto, I get the metaphor. I want solid foundations, but I don't know the technical words and how to ask for it. I don't know how to ask for a scalable backend or for a data model. And you are right, that is the hardest part for a non-coder. If you don't know the vocabulary, you cannot give the instructions. But here is the secret. You don't need to know the words. You need someone who does. And for this, we are going to use a two-brain workflow. The brain one is going to be the architect, and you can use ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, just pick one. And it knows the strategy, the vocabulary, and the best practices. Brain 2 is the builder. I use Cursor for that. You can use whatever you want. Brain 2 is going to do the heavy lifting and is going to be the one writing the actual code. So your job here is to be the coordinator. You are the real brain. You set the vision, they execute. Now I'm going to show you the exact prompt sequence to coordinate these two brains and design a scalable app without writing a single line of code. And don't worry, you can download all the prompts and more for free in the description. This process is split into multiple phases. It is exactly 5 phases for the brain 1 and then additional phases for the brain 2. In the phase 1, we want the AI to act as a senior product manager because we need to make sure we are not building a mess. So we need to refine the idea. And this is the prompt that we're going to use. Act as a senior product manager. I have an idea for an app. Insert vague idea. So here you paste the idea that you have. Help me refine this into a specific demoable MVP, minimum viable product. What are the core features I need to prove the value? What should I cut to keep it simple? Ask one question at a time as we want to brainstorm this together. This is very important because otherwise you're going to get a list of questions all one after the other and you will feel overwhelmed. And at the end, create a document for the development team. So this is also very important because we need to specify the format and what is the audience reading that document. So we want to specify that is for the development team. So now with this prompt, Brain 1 will take your vague dream and turn into a concrete list of requirements. It will also stop you from building features that you don't need at this moment. So now for phase 2, we want to have a data architect. So next thing we do, we open another conversation. This is important because we don't want the AI to get confused. Think each of these interactions as a different person, or you will get a messy output. Now we need the blueprint. We need to know who the users are and how the data connects. So this is the most critical step. No-code tools generally don't do this part. So let's see this prompt. Act as a senior data architect based on this MVP, and we paste the output of the conversation with the product manager. Create a comprehensive data model, list every entity, explain exactly how they relate to each other, list the specific field for each. So now the output of this is going to be quite impressive. What we have done so far, we have translated our idea into a plan and then our plan into a data model. Now we are ready for phase 3. In phase 3, we're going to use a CTO. So our goal at this stage is to have scalable for the future, but affordable for today. So we are going to use a prompt like this. Act as a CTO. Recommend a tech stack for this MVP, and we paste the conversation with the product manager. And we list the constraints. So constraint 1, it must be scalable. And it's better to be specific, so can handle 10,000 users. Constraint 2, it must have a generous free tier. I don't want to pay high fixed cost yet, and ideally can be self-hosted in the future. Constraint number 3, it must use industry standards. Explain why you chose each tool. As output of this prompt, Brain 1 will likely recommend things like Supabase and Next.js. So now, moving on to phase number 4, we're going to use a lead engineer. So we want to define the backend services. So now we're going to move on phase 4. What we want to do here, we need the pipes. We need to define how the app actually does things, separated from how it looks. In this prompt, we're going to ask, act as a lead backend engineer, define the service layer for this app, list the specific function we need to build based on this data model. And here we paste the conversation we had with the data architect. Explain how to secure this function so users can see each other's data. The tech stack we are going to use is this. And here we paste the conversation with the CTO. And now this is a very important piece. Put everything in the specification document for the backend developer. So it's going to create a specification document that is designed for the backend developer. So now in phase 5, the last one with Brain 1, finally, we need to define how the app actually shows things. And we're going to use this prompt. Act as a lead front-end engineer, design the design system for this app. Here we're going to paste the output of the conversation with the product manager. And the tech stack we are going to use is this. And here we're going to paste the conversation with the CTO. Put everything in the specification document for the front-end developer. Okay, so now we have done with the Brain 1. And look at what we have. We have a product scope, a data model, a tech stack, and the backend services definition and the front-end definition. We have pretty much a 20-page technical specification, and this can be used every time you need to add something to your app, or if in the future you want to hire a tech team, they will love a document like this because it will give clarity not just to the LLM but also to humans in the future. So after this phase with Brain 1, we have done all our preparation. Now and only now, you are ready to build. So next, you take the backend plan, you copy it and you paste into Brain 2. Brain 2, again, you choose what you want to use. I use Cursor. And then you do the same for the frontend. Now, because you, the coordinator, did the strategy work up front with Brain 1, Brain 2 cannot mess it up. It cannot hallucinate a bad architecture because you handed it a perfect blueprint. All the prompts in this video and more are linked down in the description. Watch this video here where I show you how easily an AI app can be hacked.